Hi, welcome to the Heart's Frontier. I'm Kate, and if you are returning, then welcome back. And make sure you're liking and subscribing so that we can keep seeing each other if you are new. I'm jumping on here to do a channeled message. I'm going to tell you a bit about what happened just before I came on to do this, actually. I've had a fairly long day on the computer, and so when I heard that I was going to be doing a YouTube video tonight, I went, oh gosh, I don't really know how long I'm going to be able to stay on there for. But then I got a lot of energy coming in the rest of the day. So there was something about, this was important for me to share with you. So there was something about doubting that you're going to have the strength, dispelling that disbelief, because at some point in my, in my brain, I heard, okay, you're going to be doing a YouTube video tonight. And I went, oh, I don't know if I have the energy for that. And then I said, well, if you're telling me, if you, whoever that is, if you are telling me that I'm going to be doing this tonight, then I obviously am and need to accept that. So I must have the energy, right? So if you have this idea, if you have this dream, if you have this notion or heart longing, or if you have plans, they are going to come. And if you trust in them, they will come faster. That is like the general overarching message. Having faith and believing in your big dreams being possible is like a really strong theme lately. I've been seeing it, because I talk about that kind of thing when I do the Align Your Life sessions, but also I do feel it's sort of been a year where a lot of people have taken stock of where their life's at in general. If you haven't done that yet, and like you really like the sound of that Align Your Life session, bringing you towards what your dreams actually are, if you're one of those people who are like, I don't really know what I want to do with my life, please book a session down below. They're so fun. They're super cool. Really enjoying them so far. Yes, but going on to the collective message again, it was about your dreams being possible so long as you keep the faith that they're meant for you, right? So I was explaining this to someone recently, and I think it might benefit you all as well, is that ideas aren't yours, right? Ideas are magical bursts of inspiration that sort of just come into your brain, right? Like, have you ever had a really good idea or a really creative, spurt, and you just thought, that wasn't really me there. Like, I almost wasn't even thinking, it just arrived, right? And so whenever those things happen, they just arrive. And so there's no real way to force it or do good or bad at that, right? So they're going to come in for you when they're meant for you. And then once it lands in you, it is up to you to create the efforts that bring that to, fruition. But if the idea came to you, it was meant for you, right? So if the idea already came to you, it was meant for you. If what you want seems out of your reach, then figure out your way there, right? Like there isn't more to it that says, you're not allowed to want for more. And this has come up a lot. It's come up a lot actually for me personally, but also for many of my clients, where it's almost like you're doing very well and you're almost doubting that it can go well. So you're like trying to get ahead of it, and it's almost self-sabotaging yourself, right? Because you're trying to get ahead of where you might let yourself down, which isn't going to happen. It's not going to happen this time. Okay. So tell yourself that you're not going to let yourself down. You're going to do what it is you came here to do, and you're going to love it. You are going to love it. Okay. So great card we have so far already pulled out, which is Magic Manifesting, Isis. I'm getting the feeling like doing some looking in the mirror at yourself would be really beneficial at this time. It feels like you might not be viewing yourself very accurately, or you might not be viewing yourself with loving eyes right now. Or if you are, maybe like okay, for some of us, you are doing that, and this is validation that you're doing really well on increasing your positive self-image and seeing yourself really closer to how other people who care about you would see you, right? Like we're trying to get to this place where we really see ourselves as lovable, right? And so in this Magic Manifesting, and that was one half. The other half of folks, it feels like that's not really in your practice right now, and that Yeah, and that maybe doing some looking in the mirror and thinking positively about yourself, saying affirmations, things like that would be really beneficial. In you looking in yourself in the eyes and trusting that you're going to do this and you've got this, like having faith in yourself. By it would be very intense, right? Like mirror gazing, if you've never done it, is a quite intense practice because it's really connecting with yourself in a way that you're not used to and can feel a little uncomfortable at the start. But I'm hearing it, so if that resonates with you, maybe even just try it for a minute or two, look at yourself, see what shifts and what you reflect upon in that time. I've been doing this a lot more recently. I think partly because I live alone, and so I'm walking by mirrors more frequently, and it sort of feels like, oh, someone's with me. It feels so funny to say. But I do think that's true. I think I'm looking at like mirrors and making friends with myself, and it's been a really beautiful practice, but it has also been challenging because facing yourself truthfully and honestly is hard work, right? Like you can look at yourself and do your quick image check and not really touch base with your heart and your soul, but the more you look at yourself and really look at yourself deep in the eyes, the more you take photos of yourself. Maybe if staring at a mirror feels like that's too much, Kate, try taking more photos or more videos of yourself. A video of yourself just sitting, breathing for a moment. You could really see what's going on for you. You can really see it in your face. Okay, that was kind of a bit of a tangent, but I think it's neat. Yeah, okay, magic manifesting. So believing in your dreams, making peace with yourself, making friends with yourself, trusting that you've got this, you're not going to let yourself down, having faith that if an idea came to you, it's yours, and if a longing is in your heart, then you're meant for it, okay? So magic manifesting, Isis. Your dreams, visions, and goals are becoming reality. Stay focused. So I've heard this from a few people recently, and I think that goes into where the doubt has been coming up for folks. It's that if you do the things that you are really excited for, it's almost like you're worried that if you're succeeding, you're going to stop succeeding at some point, and that's going to feel worse than where you are now, but it's not going to, okay? It's not going to. So if you are putting in good, noble efforts from your heart and something doesn't go as planned, you will be magically redirected to a path so long as you continue aligning yourself and aligning your heart and soul. You will continue being guided along this path. So everything is like a divine detour. If it feels like it doesn't go your way, it's like you can actually just understand how these things piece together when you have faith and when you work on your self-knowledge to, to that extent. That's the goal, right? To just make sense of and make peace with the happenings of life. And so it's saying stay focused, make sure that you understand, make sure you understand that your focus needs to be entirely on receiving, receiving intuition, impressions, messages, things like that. That's what's going to show you that everything is working out for you. That's the thing that's going to show you is when you look at things with clear eyes and really see things for how they are, you'll be able to come back to those dreams and those goals with a lot more assuredness. And then we got Mary Magdalene, one of my faves. She's coming up so much lately, and I'm seeing roses everywhere. And I'm like, roses are in my face oil as well, so I am like around rose energy a lot. It's very healing. I would actually like to speak about rose oil for a moment, which is that rose specifically is like light years ahead of even some other really great potent essential oils as far as vibration is concerned. So rose is a really, really high vibration flower in general. We've put a lot of energy and meaning to what a rose means throughout time. So that, I mean, that's part of why it's so potent, because we've instilled that. The rose oil is also very grounding and heart opening. And before I started this reading, I really felt like a sense of, I was walking around my house in my head listening to, okay, what do I need to know about the collective? How is everyone sort of feeling? Like everyone who's watching this video at some point in time, because these are considered timeless, channeled messages. Anyone who's watching this at some point in time, how are they feeling? And I was getting this feeling like really grounding yourself would be the best, most high priority thing for you to do right now, even if that seems contrary. So this is another one of those things where, okay, part of the group here is feeling like, yeah, I know how to relax, and I'll take that invitation. It does feel like that's all I'm doing lately is relaxing. And I'm just validating the fact that for you, that's important, because that relaxing is where you're doing your vision work. That relaxing is where you're setting up this, you know, mindset foundation for the next transition and transitions that are coming your way. I'm feeling in a month or so, maybe. Timings are always weird, right? Because we can shift that, you know, in a second. I could say this and, you know, the collective could change a few things and it might shift, but it feels like soon you're going to have a period of everything making sense. Okay, so it feels like a lot of these things you've been chewing on, you're starting to feel more certain of, like, you know what you're after now. You've known what you've been after for a long time, but it feels clearer now how you might be able to go around doing it. I'm hearing there's a lot of gaps though. So it's like almost like I'm talking to you and so you're saying to me, yeah, but there's a lot of gaps in that. Like, I don't really know exactly how I'm going to do it. And the thing is, you need to trust that you don't have to know how. You need to trust that you know how to follow the signs, and you know how to bumble through your life, and you know how to, you know, you know how to make right actions in the moment. You know how to listen to your gut. And if you have faith in all those things, then you don't need to figure out how to do anything. You just need to do the things that you're told to do, or that you feel compelled to do, really. Feeling compelled towards something is a really positive energy, in that if it's meant for you and you're feeling compelled towards it in a way that feels exciting, but not that kind of exciting where it's like, I'm getting away with this, or I'm, you know, like not the unlawful kind of exciting, because there are, you know, two versions of excitement in that sense, where sometimes we get very excited because we're lit up by it actually being a really right, positive thing, or a potentially, you know, soul fulfilling, soul enriching thing. And sometimes we get excitement because we're doing something that feels not allowed, or like rebellious, or increases our anxiety. And that actually increases, like, excitement can be very confusing with anxiety. Side note, if you're experiencing a lot of anxiety right now, that may be a new fact for you. So yeah, anxiety is very similar in body and in nervous system to excitement. And so you may find that if you've been very excited, very happy, very like lively and uplifted for good reasons, you may find also that your anxiety increases a little bit, or that you have like a crash after. And that may be feeling really frustrating for you. So it's like, you may not trust that you have the capacity to enjoy good things in your life and to like have joy in general. And you know what? I'm laughing because I understand this, and I have been there. Let me tell you, I've been there where I just was like, for many years, I did not have hope that true happiness would ever find me, that I would just be some sort of walking zombie who didn't get what life was about, like forever. And I thought, you know, how ungrateful am I to not find joy in my everyday? And it was really hard. I was like very down on myself for not being able to locate like my own place of joy for a while, really. Like, you would have moments and then it would just be gone. Like, so you would not trust that it was real or that it was going to stay. And I'm just getting the guidance to tell you that this is staying, and all the good stuff can stay. And when we allow it, the more and more and more it actually appears. That is, I mean, that's a whole other, if you're really struggling with your anxiety, like there's so many more factors that go into that, and your experience is so rich and has to do with so many ways that you've been taught to think. So yeah, if you're interested in working with me about anxiety, that's something I have like a very large amount of personal experience with. Yeah, so if that's something that is really, you know, and you like these messages and you like where I'm coming from, I highly recommend you book a session and we can connect, and I can help you feel more calm, help you feel more grounded. That is what we are needing collectively. This groundedness just before things start to take shape is what I'm feeling. So we have keeper of the scales, fairness and balance. So I do get the feeling like you've gone through quite a lot. Like there's been a lot of hard stuff that you've had to go through. And isn't that the spiritual way, right? Like we don't learn our lessons the easy way. If we did, then maybe we'd be more advanced. But we learn our lessons really with a lot of stories that feel very painful, and a lot of trial and error, maybe is what it feels like. And so understand that everything is going to come into balance. So if you feel you've had a really, really challenging time, well, that's going to flip. And then you're going to have the best time. So it's almost like the depth of pain which you've experienced, you're also going to be gifted that high level of joy and love and freedom and acceptance and all those things, right? So understand that if you've had a huge amount of personal, internal suffering, external, conflicts, traumas in life, pain in general, if you've had that deep, dark time, it will also allow you to experience that bright light. And the more that you pendulum swing between the two, the more you understand you have the capacity to experience the full gamut, and then you can begin to choose how you actually manipulate your own energy, how you navigate through the world in order to increase your energy and stay more consistently in that high vibration spot. But no one in that high vibration spot should ever fear going back to that deep dark, right? Because truly you have balance at all times, and you have the capacity to shift your energy. If you've been there and then you've not been there, then you've obviously shifted that at some point, right? So you know what you're doing more than you realize is what you need to hear. Okay. And then we have emerging. So this is what feels like is happening next and coming up. And yeah, I'm seeing it across the board, but I'm seeing a lot of love emerging. And that's love with like everyone around you. It feels like a really all-encompassing kind of love, which is so nice. Yeah, the kind of love that just, bubbles out of you. It's sort of, I'm hearing effervesces. Yeah, so it's the kind of love that just really begs to be shared, begs to be released out into the world. What is coming next? Oop. Oh, I love this. Sometimes I get very clear message. I see something, I go, that's right. And I almost have to shake it. I have to move. So if I do that when I eat too. Sometimes if I eat something that I really enjoy, I'll dance in my seat, and it's very embarrassing, but I don't know. It's kind of nice actually. Imagine everyone just felt free to express their, kind of feels like a childish thing to me, right? To be like, la, 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 this is good food. But imagine we all felt free to just express and be our own weird self. What a lovely, weird world we would be in. It's already kind of weird, but okay. Rejuvenating rain. We have clear the past, heal the present. Okay, I'm definitely getting you need to connect with water. If you can get out to see a body of water, that would be really ideal for you right now. Like putting your hands in water, drinking water, just taking more showers or baths with intention, right? It doesn't have to be more. It could just be with a specific ritual or mindset. Clear the past, heal the present, and choosing your path. So if you have been feeling a little bit lost in the woods, understand all is possible. It's all happening. It's all coming. It's already here. You might not see it yet, but it is already here. If it's on its way, then it's also here, because, Another thing I really wanted to say was that if you have felt apart from a person, a project, a hobby, a task, a dream, if you have felt far from those things, understand that if you love it, if you love that thing or person, if you love that thing and that person, it will not, time and distance won't do a thing, right? So the way that you